The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.
This is Denise Nostrom, CEO and founder of Diversified Financial Solutions. Now more than ever, investment advice is needed. Not just where best to invest your money, but why. Are you investing for your future retirement? Are you retired and looking to maximize your income? Are you maximizing your income and concerned with leaving money for your loved ones? Are you investing for your retirement at the same time saving for your children's education and at the same time saving to buy another home? Are the markets in line with your goals? Are your goals ever changing? Please contact me at 631-758-8691. That's 631-758-8691, or visit us at diversifiedfinancial.biz. For over 25 years, I have been helping individuals, families, and business owners navigate through all market conditions with only one goal in mind, my clients. Visit me at diversifiedfinancial.biz or call Denise Nostrom, founder of Diversified Financial Solutions, at 631-758-8691. That's 631-758-8691 for a conversation about my most important client, you. Hi, and thanks for tuning in today. You are listening to The Financial Chick Show, and I am the Financial Chick. My name is Denise Nostrom, the CEO and owner of Diversified Financial Solutions, a full-service independent financial planning firm located in Medford. I am here live every Friday from 5:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 103.9 LI News Radio. Your Financial Chick is here to help you make better financial decisions and choices to improve your life and reduce your anxiety and stress about money. If you have any questions on anything we discuss here on the air, check out my website at financialchickshow.com or call my office at 631-758-8691. And please make sure to like us on Facebook at Diversified Financial Solutions. So we made it to Friday. It's been quite the week. We started with a major snowstorm on Long Island, and it put everything into chaos mode. The stores were jam-packed over the weekend, and it was hard to find certain items. It was shocking to see so much snow because the past few winters, it's been really mild, and we have not seen much of that white stuff. So everyone you talked to was discussing how they were really sore from shoveling or burnt out with fighting with their snowblower that was not working properly. Well, actually, that was my husband. We have a pretty long driveway, and we have to have a snowblower. It's just too long and too much to do, cardiac arrest type. He was complaining that it was not working well, and he was having issues with the belts. I reminded him it owes him absolutely nothing since we bought that thing back in 2002 or so. So it's 19 years old, at least. It's good to use something until it dies, being fiscally conservative, as we know, but you must realize that some things just cannot be revived. So he thankfully ordered a new one. I'm going to let all of my listeners know when we get it because it's a guarantee that there will be not any substantial snow for the next couple of years. So for my listeners that are not fond of snow and prefer the warm weather, you're very welcome. So today, speaking of warm weather, I have a guest that's going to be on the air with me. I have known him for over 10 years now. I believe it was 10 years. When I get him on, we'll confirm that. But he lives in Sarasota, Florida. I was speaking with him earlier this week, and he told me that it was only going to be going up to 68 degrees the day that I spoke to him. Meanwhile, I'm here freezing and looking at mounds of snow out of my office window. So, well, although he was not being nice and trying to rub it in and hurt my feelings, I decided to still have him on the show today. So I want to welcome to the show Kevin Clark, who is the CEO of a company he co-founded called Plan Confidence. He calls himself a closet ERISA nerd who wanted to help hardworking Americans with their company retirement plans. So I know myself, and I'm sure you all want to hear a little bit more about that. So Kevin, are you there?
How are we doing, Denise?
I'm good. I didn't diss you too much, right? We're still friends?
Don't you guys have to do, what's it called, like winterize a boat up there?
Well, yeah. That was done. We're hoping for the thaw. That's what we're waiting for. But coming to the studio today, it is happening because it was actually light on the way here. So, but still cold, 42, which you'd be freezing at that point. Although you were from Chicago, right?
I was from Chicago, but I've been in Sarasota full-time now for at least 3 years, and then I bounced back and forth for about 8 years.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so your blood is thin then. You can't deal with the cold weather anymore.
Oh, yeah, no. tomorrow's going to be nice. It'll be about 78, but then I'll be in like the high 60s, low 70s for the rest of the week, and we'll freeze again.
All right, so not only were you rubbing it in on me, now all my listeners. So you realize we're on Long Island and we're going to be getting snow every other day. So please, I think we should jump into the story. But seriously, yeah. So why don't you tell my listeners a little bit about yourself and why you started Plan Confidence?
Yeah, absolutely. So just like yourself, I was an advisor with a practice outside of Chicago. Just like you, that's how we met. And it's scary that we could talking about friends that we've known for decades. So factor of age. But what happened to me was in 2008, I had clients that would come to me and we would sit down and do an annual review or so. And they would say, you know what, Kev, I don't care anything about what you want to talk about and the money you're handling. Look at my 401k plan. I'm getting killed. What am I supposed to do here? And that's when we were in the midst of the financial crisis, which really started in mid-September of 07 and went all the way through April of 09.
Yep.
So being the sharp guy that I am, I only had to hear it about 10 times from clients, saying, hey, what are we supposed to be doing here? So, I'll never forget the first client. I said, you know what? Go get your laptop. Let's take a look, because every 401k plan is different because the employer is the one who chooses the investment options that the employees could use.
Right.
So it's kind of been a asset class. We call them held away assets in the business because they're held away from the financial advisor. The employer makes the decision. So it's been really hard to give advice on that. And I found that out the hard way when I asked the first client. I said, you know what, why don't you print off the fund lineup that your employer allows you to put money into? And the employer was Motorola in Chicago. And, she printed them out. I went back to the office. I did a bunch of research using the Morningstar software we all have, overlaid a model as best as I could with the options that he had, and then put it in a PDF and sent it to her in an email saying, hey, you know what? Tomorrow I'll log into your account and make it look like this. She started telling all of her friends I was doing that. And I started getting a lot more people that wanted the service, to the point where we had the ability essentially to manually look at all this stuff, because I put it in Excel spreadsheets and convert it into pie charts and all this stuff. And it was getting to the point where doing all the research and the manual labor was absolutely ridiculous because it's very manual, time consuming. This is one of the reasons why the most financial advisors out there, they don't offer this service. They don't raise their hand to do it because it is so manual and time consuming. So what I did, I had the fortunate I was very fortunate that a friend of mine, her husband was a software developer. So I went to him and I said, hey, look, let me show you the 3-page PDF I send your wife every month to tell her what to do with the money in a 401k plan. Can we automate this? Is there any way that, we could take this very labeler intensive process and get it into, some sort of software that we could do web-based to make it turnkey. And that's what we started working on. I think it was about 2013 or so. What we did that, and then 2016 we incorporated what we have now known as Plan Confidence, and turned that into software, which now any financial advisor has the ability to use and push a button and tell all of their clients exactly what to do with the money in their 401k plans.
Right. Well, really, most people, other than their home, their 401k, 403b, 457, thrift savings plan. These are names that listeners may relate to, or any other qualified retirement plan is their biggest asset. So it's important to make sure that this asset's being tended to, and doing what it should be doing to ensure they have a comfortable retirement. So I'm thrilled that I can provide this service to people. So I guess tell the listeners basically, well, we have about 2 minutes left, but before the break, but how the program works.
So real simply, that whole manual process we started with, from the point of, uploading the fund lineup from any 401k plan, goes into our system. Then we've got 5 what are called strategic models, not to get all nerdy, but your traditional asset allocation, slice and dice, and then 3 what we call semi-tactical models. Those could have, move money to cash or move money out of the stock market. And then literally they're just overlaid, and every single month, all the 401ks are reviewed, and every single person in there will get an email telling them to log into the system and look at the new recommendations that are specific to the options that somebody has within their 401k plan.
Right. Which is extremely helpful, because that's the thing that I hear from my clients too, that I have this plan. I don't get a lot of help. I don't know what to do. But the problem comes where, as financial advisors with the Security and Exchange Commission and the Department of Labor, they've made a lot of sweeping changes over the past, well, I wouldn't say several, it was many years, that doesn't enable the financial advisor to really get in there. So your program has really given us the opportunity to be able to do this and still be compliant and still do the right thing.
Yeah, we've got all the SEC and the DOL rules built right into our software. We like to say, even if a financial advisor doesn't know the rules, which many don't, even if they don't know the rules, they can't run afoul of them because they're baked right into our software.
Yeah. Well, we're running into the break here. So this is the financial chick, Denise Nostrom, the company's Diversified Financial Solutions. I'm talking with Kevin Clark from Plan Confidence. So when we come back from the break, we're going to talk more about how we can help you, the listener, make the changes that you need in your 401k or give you advice that you're not getting with your employer. So stay tuned, and we look forward to speaking with you after the break. Welcome back. This is Denise Nostrom, the financial chick, the company's Diversified Financial Solutions. And if you have anything that you hear on this show, that you have any questions or want to reach me, visit my website at financialchickshow.com. So I'm here with Kevin Clark, who is the CEO of Plan Confidence, which is a service I provide in my practice to help give advice to people who have 401ks, 403bs, 457s, and the such. So, Kevin, before the break, we were talking about some of the rules and regulations surrounding 401ks and other qualified retirement plans. So it's kind of hard to work with retirement plans now. Years ago, financial advisors, I'm sure you and myself, we would give advice on these plans, scribble down some suggestions on a yellow notepad, and that we thought that was sufficient. But the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, and Department of Labor stepped in and created rules and laws prohibiting that from going on. So tell me a little bit about that and my listeners, and how you were able to develop the program that was compliant. And are there any companies that maybe you can't work with at this point?
Yeah, so the Supreme Court's gotten involved too, which has actually made it more difficult for advisors as well. And without boring all your listeners out there, the 401k plans are really, they're really regulated from the Department of Labor and the Internal Revenue Service. Two initials that usually scare the bejesus out of financial firms. For
sure. Absolutely.
And then the rules are very strict in terms of, if you run afoul of them, and they're completely different. They really don't care if the SEC or FINRA is the regulator or anything. So there's a lot of rules and regulations that are built into it under what's called ERISA law, the Employment Retirement Income Security Act of 1974, which essentially birthed the 401k, which ironically, this is how creative we are in the financial space of naming things, out of that code, out of ERISA code, it's section 401 subsection K. So that's how we got our name. Same thing with the 401ks and all that stuff.
Well, this is the ERISA closet thing you're discussing now. I knew we'd get to it eventually. Okay, good.
Yeah. So it's been very difficult, and a lot of the major firms and institutions, they just flat out will not allow their advisors to talk to their clients about them because of the complexity of the rules and the regulations. So being an ERISA nerd myself, who's not afraid to read the law, who's not afraid, the Department of Labor comes out with what they call interpretive bulletins. So when the law is unclear, they come out with this, IB, which will explain the law in more detail and stuff. So we've taken all of that and built it into our software. We had a complete revamp of the software in 2016 because the Obama administration completely changed a lot of the ERISA rules. And now then that got shut down by the courts. The Trump administration literally just changes the ERISA rules again, which go into effect next week unless the Biden administration changes or puts a moratorium on that. So it's always evolving. The cool thing about software is we can program it. So my partner, and if you will, with our fintech, I'm the financial side of it. He's the tech side of it. So, I'm the one keeping up to date on all this stuff or whatever. And then I'll go to Mark saying, hey, Mark, we need to program this. We need to make our software do something a little bit different, so on and so forth, which then happens behind the scenes. Just like every other software, we'll do software updates, patches, things of that nature to make sure that the advice that you're giving as an advisor is fully compliant, because you don't want to run afoul of the rules and regs. And it's the best advice that we possibly could deliver to the end user, which we call participants, your client. your client, realistically, they just want to know, Denise, what am I supposed to buy and sell? My employer just gave me this long list of all these different names on a sheet of paper,
right?
And they're telling me my largest asset that I'm supposed to retire with, I have to control. And under ERISA law, it's illegal for the employer to help them.
Exactly.
So it's not that the employer's bad people or anything like that, but there's problems. So all of a sudden, you had this issue in this, gray area space or whatever. Vanguard does a study. They do very good studies every year. They come out with the retirement study every year. And last year, only 7% of the people actually logged into their 401k plan to place a trade or a change.
That's a really low number.
Sorry, 92, 8% of the people. The year prior, I keep forgetting we had the year change a month ago. The year prior, it was 92%. So for all intents and purposes, 9 out of 10 people, and this has been a statistic that's been going on for years, 9 out of 10 people, once they set up their 401k, they never do anything.
Right. It's like that set it and forget it, which we know. And I say that to my clients all the time. Things are dynamic. Things change. I mean, I just see the changes that came in this month. We're looking a little bit more at cash. And what I love about it is it's very dynamic and it's very pertinent to what's going on. Like you said, people are not making changes. So they have their same portfolio that they had 5 years ago. And we know 5 years ago is a whole lot different than it is today.
Yeah, or 10 years ago, or they defaulted whatever their employer put them into. But 9 out of 10 people not taking a look at their biggest asset is very dangerous.
Absolutely.
And if you can just think of, 2 years ago, at the end of 2019, the market was up 30%. And then in the first quarter, 2020, it was down over 30%. And then it ran up 68% from, the first quarter all the way to the last quarter of last year. So we had these dramatic moves. If that client in the 401k plan just did quarterly rebalancing, at the end of 2019, they would have locked in their gains. Then when the market fell, they would have rebalanced on April 1st. The market started to come back around March 23rd. So they would have been about a week after the market started to go up. They would have rebalanced back into more stocks and more equities, and they would have had a higher return because they would have been controlling the risk.
Right.
There's zero we could do about the returns of the markets on any given day, week, month, or year, but we can't control the risk of our clients. And you said, set it and forget it. I always use the term bet it and forget it. I'm betting the market's going to be higher on the day I retire than the day that I started.
Right.
And it's a dangerous thing. So we created this software for financial advisors to literally work with their clients to say, look, Mr. and Mrs. Client, please don't leave it up to chance. Don't buy and hope. Not buy and hold, buy and hope, cross your fingers that it's not going to be a repeat of 2008 or the first quarter of, 2020 when you retire. Have a strategy. Manage your risk, because again, there's nothing we can do. Our software last Monday on February 1st with our tactical models, we locked in the gains of the year of all last year by selling half of the equities in the portfolio.
Yeah. And that's a big thing, So one thing I'm sure people are thinking, well, everything has a cost. So how does that work? With it being one of your biggest assets, isn't it worth the cost to make sure that your money's protected? We were talking about this, Kevin, that, you look at other services like having your house cleaned or having someone take care of your yard. You can certainly do those things yourself. You have the ability, but at some point you make the decision that either 1, you don't have the time, 2, you don't have the expertise, 3, you don't have the right equipment or research, of course, in our case, or number 4, you really just don't want to do it. So you prefer to delegate it to a professional. Right? I mean, that's pretty much the deal. So
absolutely. I had the house cleaners come over this morning. The people that cut the grass come tomorrow, and I gladly write those checks every month. And I'm fairly young, 47 years old, and healthy. I easily could do these tasks. But I don't want to. They do it better than I do. That's all they do. They specialize in it. They come in here, they do it faster than I would do it. It's better than I would do it, and I just gladly write those checks. Same thing here. If anybody's listening out there and they're going, hey man, this hits home because I don't know what to do with my 401k plan because my employer just handed me this stuff. I didn't realize they weren't supposed to help me. And now I've been stuck. I know, your office is using our software with your clients right now.
Absolutely. So typically, the charge for this service for people is $50 per month, but we're actually doing a special that, for my radio listeners, that we're going to offer you a reduced fee of $35 a month for the next 30 days if you say that you heard this on the Financial Chick radio show. So that's really $1.17 per day to ensure that your retirement plan is allocated properly. Let's face it, you can spend $35 really easily, right, on things like Starbucks or the lottery, which do not have a long shelf life. Protecting your retirement savings now, which will produce income for you in retirement, is an investment that will last longer than that cup of coffee or that dollar in a dream that usually you never get that dollar back. So you can go to the website, financialchickshow.com, to fill out the Contact Us form or call the office at 631-758-8691 and let Kevin and I help you. So, Kevin's the brains behind the operation, and I use his service, and it's been tremendously helpful in my practice and for my clients. So thank you, Kevin. I appreciate you for joining me today.
This went by quick.
It goes by really fast. I guess I need an hour show. No, I'm only kidding. They're gonna pop me to an hour now. No, but I want to thank all of you for listening. Thank you so much, Mike, the engineer. You're the best. I hope you all have a great weekend. I guess most of you will be watching the game for Super Bowl Sunday. I have my Super Bowl boxes, so I'm ready. And remember, stay positive, be happy. We can only control so much. Do the best you can and ask for help when needed. Until next Friday.
Advisory services offered through Blackridge Asset Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities are offered through Peak Brokerage Services, LLC, member FINRA, SIPC. Blackridge Asset Management and Diversified Financial Solutions are separate and independent entities from Peak Brokerage Services.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.